Hey guys, and welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our time in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Our next set of vlogs are going to be Alamogordo, New Mexico. If you've been, then you know what the next national park that we're going to visit is. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and do a cooking vlog with you guys. So, the one pot like mac beef and cheese that I did a while back. You guys loved it. So I kind of want to do a spin off of that and do another one pot pasta meal. Except we're going to get a little creative and do it a little bit differently. If you're like me, you might get heartburn with tomato sauce. So a lot of times, if I'm not in the mood for like traditional marinara, or even Alfredo, because then I might get a stomach ache. Then I want to get creative. And there's so many different types of packaged soups that you can use as a sauce. So let me show you what it is that I'm whipping together today to change the flavor of the sauce, but still enjoy a really nice, refreshing, but hearty pasta dish. Let's check out the ingredients. The ingredients for today's one pot pasta is going to be rotini, chopped spinach, onion, and garlic, along with some chicken thighs. And our sauce of choice is going to be the butternut squash creamy soup. Now that you've seen the ingredient list, let's go ahead and dice up some onions. I'm not going to use the entire onion because I think that would be a little bit too much, but half of a medium onion or even one full small onion would be good to go. So dice it up. Doesn't have to be even because in the end it's not really going to be seen inside of the pasta dish. Next, we want to go ahead and dice up some garlic as well. So it's up to you, depending on how much of a garlic lover it is that you are, how many pieces you want to use. But I think I am going to go with like 4 of them. Next up is the chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and cube it and get rid of as much of the fat as possible because we don't want fat in the pasta. We've got the chicken all diced up. I transferred the onions and garlic to a different bowl. I'm going to do a basic seasoning. So we're going to do some pink salt. We're going to do some onion powder, garlic powder, some black pepper,
Stop it.
a little bit of smoked paprika with a little smokiness. Now I will throw a bay leaf or 2 once we've got the pasta going as well. Let's get the hands dirty and mix this well here. Perfect. I'm going to wash my hands, get some oil on the pan, and start searing these. I went ahead and added a very thin layer of oil in there. So you'll see I have it on medium high. Once this gets nice and hot, we'll be throwing our chicken in. I think this has been going long enough. Let's see if we get a sizzle when we throw in our chicken. Excellent. That sizzle tells us that it's hot enough. I'm going to stir it around just so that all the pieces of chicken can be touching the surface and it can get a good sear to it. You'll see that the chicken is already starting to get white around the edges. So I'm going to give this a stir. And sure enough, the part that was touching the pan has a nice sear to it. Let me turn this around. Oh. You'll see there. I'm going to throw in the onions and garlic. I usually like to do the onions separate from the garlic because the garlic toasts really fast. but I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to be adding some of that chopped spinach, which would give it a lot of moisture, so it's not going to burn. I just want to get this in first. Remember to season your layers. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to those onions and garlic and give it a stir. And I'll let this cook like this just for a couple minutes so that the onions can get semi-translucent before we add in our spinach. We have an angry monkey down here because I'm cooking and she wants the food. But the onions and the garlic have been in here for about 2 minutes. It's already even started to deglaze the pan some, except for this corner. You'll see that they're looking really nice down there. So let's add in our frozen spinach. The spinach is going to really help to glaze the rest of the pan because it's frozen. It's going to let out a lot of liquid. I'm going to stir it occasionally. You don't have to stir it the whole time, but I do want to stir occasionally until it's completely blended and defrosted. And I'm going in to season my layers. The onion and the garlic and the pink salt. Give it another stir. It's not fully defrosted yet. There's some pieces that are still icy. All right, so I believe I am ready to get the show on the road. All of the spinach is defrosted. The whole pan is deglazed. So we want to go ahead and start adding our rotini in here and get that cooking. So here's our box of the rotini. These look like little spirals. And now that that's in, I'm actually going to turn the heat on high because we're going to want this to boil. But before I add the liquid in, I want to stir it so that it is already starting to get combined with the chicken and the spinach and picks up some of that flavor. And it's not all just sitting up at the top. I want some of it at the bottom too. That already looks beautiful. And then imagine that orange sauce on top. All right. So I'm going to open up the butternut squash creamy soup. We basically want to cover the pasta. I would say about 1/2 inch above the pasta. So obviously the soup isn't going to do that. So we're going to need to add some water. Let's see how much we got in there after stirring. Just enough to cover it. I'm going to get a little bit more, maybe 1/2 of this cup. Now we're good. I would say that's about 1/2 inch above everything. So I'm going to actually do a little bit more. We're going to wait for this to start boiling now that I turned the heat back up to high. And then we're going to lower it, cover it, and let it cook for about 12 minutes. So it hasn't started boiling yet. I did say I was going to throw a bay leaf in here just for extra flavoring. So there is one. I'm going to stir that in. We've got a light boil going, so I'm going to give it a stir. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to reduce the heat to about a medium low, and we're going to set a timer for about 12 minutes and check back on it. Alexa, set a timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, starting now.
It is summertime, so this is probably better. I should have done like a salad cold rotini. Look at her face. She's like, you want some beer? So now that we've got that going, let's drink some beer and take a break. I'll check in with you when it's time to check on that pot. Alexa, stop. All right, so 13 minutes passed. Woo! Let's see what this looks like. I think 15 minutes would be okay. I think I'm going to leave it open and leave it for another 5 more minutes just open so that rest of this liquid can go ahead and evaporate. Last time I did the one pot meal. I think I had set the timer for 20 minutes. And I think if I remember correctly, it was 12 or 13. That was perfect. It was a different type of pasta though. So we're going to leave this open and wait 5 more minutes. All right, there's Alexa. Alexa, stop. And I think this is a good consistency. It's still saucy, but not soupy. I want mine in a bowl. Lou wants hers on a plate. So let me go ahead and serve. And we will check in with you for a quick taste test. So there we go. We do have parm. And we do have garlic. Because Lou likes extra garlic sauce. I pulled the ottoman up next to Lou so that we can eat together. And we added some parm. I did parm and pink salt because I like my food a little on the salty side. And she added parm and garlic powder because she likes extra garlic on everything. Yes, I'm a little nervous. I just wanted to get creative and try a different form of sauce instead of the traditional marinara and Alfredo because that's typically always the sauces for pastas. Let's see how it turned out. It's so hot. I actually like how light the sauce is. It's definitely a different flavor. If somebody were to serve me this, I wouldn't know that it's butternut squash.
It's very light. I don't know if I have the right name. It kind of tastes like a stroganoff.
Okay.
To me. Like a beef stroganoff, but I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's what comes to mind. It's extremely mild in flavor. It's not bad, but I guess I was expecting bigger flavors. I like really big flavors.
Bold. Yeah.
I like
go with light and healthy.
I don't know about healthy, but it's definitely very light. Like there's no way that I would be able to identify what sauce was used for this. If somebody were to serve me this, I would have no idea what sauce they used for it. But it's good. It's good.
I like the spinach in it, not just for extra pop of color. But I think it gives it its own flavor too. The spinach, the chicken, and then that butternut squash sauce.
I like spinach and everything. I love spinach. It's one of my favorite things to
She's
eat.
waiting for more garlic.
Which is not to say she didn't put enough garlic. It's just that like I like offensive garlic. That's my thing. I want to walk away reeking of garlic. That's when I'm happiest. But the chicken's really tender, like fall apart tender. It's a good flavor.
And this is a cheeseless pasta. So if you wanted to add cheese, I know I've had a couple of viewers that said, oh, I don't really care for cheese. Definitely throw in a good handfuls of your preferred cheese like mozzarella or pepper jack right over the top at the end and then stir it and it'll be really delicious also.
We did put parm in it, so it's not
we added parm to the top.
Right.
But I mean,
it's not cooked with cheese.
Grated parm versus like cheese.
Right.
Is a difference.
Not cooked with cheese.
Yeah. Well, if you would enjoy something like this, or if you're curious and want to make something different out of the box, please let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear if this is something you'd try out first time I make it with you guys because I was curious. I wanted to do something different. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload a video. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.
Bye guys.